Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence that you're about to receive concerning evidence of other crimes allegedly committed by the defendant will be considered by you for the limited purpose of proving motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge, identity, the absence of mistake or accident on the part of the defendant, and you shall consider it only as it relates to these issues. However, the defendant is not on trial for a crime that is not included in the indictment that has been read to you. You may proceed.
Judge, we would request that the state specify which one of those the evidence is being introduced for, whether it's motive, whichever one it is, so that the jury doesn't think it's being offered on all of these things.
Mr. Tanner.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, would you state your name, please?
You'd like, he wanted to make an offer if you'll come forward and take your pick.
Yes, Your Honor. If it please the court.
Here are the items you need for.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, we intend to introduce the similar fact evidence of the other murders in this case to prove motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge, identity, absence of mistake, absence of accident, and lack of self-defense.
Objection to the last one, Your Honor.
Objection to the state.
Motion for mistrial, Your Honor.
Vote for mistrial is that.
Motion for curative instruction, Your Honor.
The jury will instruct you all. Pay no attention to the last comment of counsel or state as to the last option of the instruction.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Sir, would you state your name again, just for the record?
Lawrence Horzepa.
And you were previously sworn investigator for Horzepa yesterday, were you not?
That's correct.
Sir, I would like you to look at charts III and J for identification and ask if you recognize what those charts represent.
Yes, sir.
So with regard to exhibit III, could you tell the jury what it shows?
This shows the central area and northern area of Florida. On this particular map here, we have a small circle number 1 and a small circle number 1A right at the Daytona Beach area, 995, approximately at the Ormond Beach area. Circle number 1 indicates the area where the body of Richard Mallory was found, and circle number 1A indicates the area where Richard Mallory's vehicle was located.
Your Honor, please, we would offer this chart into evidence at this time.
That's triple I, Mr. Tanner?
Yes, this is III.
Objection to triple I is cumulative, Your Honor, to yesterday's evidence.
Objection overruled. Let the item be received and marked by the proper number.
State's Exhibit 42.
There's no further questions to the witness at this time, Your Honor, subject to recall on other issues.
Subject to recall, Your Honor.
You care to cross examine?
No, Your Honor, but we would like the witness available to us as
You
well.
may stand down. Call your next witness.
I may have announced your name as Deputy Brooks, Deputy Cameron, if not.
Deputy Cameron.
Excuse me. Would you please tell for the record your full name?
Tony Gene Cameron,
And where are you employed, sir?
Swanee County Sheriff's Department.
How long
Can we have a motion, may we approach?
Yes, sir.
We would make a Richardson motion at this time, Your Honor.
Objection overruled. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we would also move to strike it.
Motion to strike. I don't know whether it's to strike. All heard the man's name, but
To exclude the witness, Your Honor.
all right.
Sir, were you still employed on or about September 25th of 1990?
Yes, I was.
Great, sir. And in what capacity were you employed?
Deputy Sheriff.
And how long have you employed with your particular agency?
Approximately 9 years.
Sir. And some of your duties, is it road patrol?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sir. Now, during the course of your routine patrol, did you come upon a vehicle that was later linked to the homicide of a Mr. Humphreys?
Yes, I did.
And you recall what date that was?
September the 25th, 1990.
During the course of your investigation, did you learn whether or not that vehicle had been in the location where you first saw it for any period of time?
I determined that it had been there for several days.
Was that based upon your investigation?
Yes.
All right. So let me show you what has been marked for exhibit purposes that states triple D for identification. Ask you if you're able to recognize the vehicle portrayed in that photograph.
Yes.
Right, so is that the light blue Frienza that you saw on September the 25th, 1990?
It looks like it is. If I have the VIN number and everything, if you need it verified.
Do you have that with you?
Yes, I do.
Could you tell the jury the VIN that you had and you ran off?
The VIN number is 1G3JC69P2FK315829.
For the record, Your Honor, the witness is reading from a sheet of paper and no objection to that.
If you'd like to come examine it, sir, you may.
On cross-examination, Your Honor.
All right.
Sure, if I may put it on.
Yes, sir.
So let me show you what has been marked for exhibit purposes. States triple J for identification. And ask you if you can tell me, point to the approximate location where you located Mr. Humphrey's vehicle in Suwannee County.
Approximately at this number 6A, near just east of Falmouth,
Okay. And what county would that be, sir?
Suwannee County.
And that is represented on states triple J for identification as 6A.
Yes.
Thank you, Bert. Sir, when you found the car, can you tell us what procedures you followed at that time?
When I found the car, there was no license plate on it or anything, and I checked inside the car to see if I saw any identification just laying in the car, and I didn't see anything, so I took the VIN number from the vehicle and ran it with my dispatcher, and it came back to a C.R. Humphreys, and it had a Miami address on the registration.
During the course of your attempt, did you attempt to locate the owner at that time?
At that time, I attempted to locate the owner in Miami, which I didn't have any luck at all. And at a later date, I don't remember exactly what day it was, I was in our dispatch room and there was a teletype posted, and I was just reading over the teletypes, and it had the name Humphreys on it, the teletype.
Did you recognize from that teletype the name that was on it as being the owner?
The name on the teletype, I said Charles, but I
Had C.
had C. So I contacted Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Now, was it some period of time before you saw that teletype and recognized the significance of your find of the car to the
Yes, there
teletype?
was.
Okay, and what happened once you teletyped Marion County?
They sent two investigators up to Live Oak.
Okay, so did they recover the car at that time?
I had already had the car towed in
Yes, sir.
with the day that I found it on the 25th to an impound yard owned by Bill Nix of Nix Golf.
Okay, at that time, you had no reason to believe it was involved in anything other than possibly an abandoned or stolen vehicle.
Correct.
Okay, sir. And do you know approximately when you notified the Marion County authorities?
Not exactly.
Well, are we talking days, weeks, or a couple months?
Within approximately 2 weeks.
Okay, approximately 2 weeks after you made the recovery. And did they show up pretty much fairly immediately?
Yes,
Immediately.
immediately.
Objection, Your Honor.
That's overruled.
Nothing further at this time. Thank you, sir.
I need to ask you.
article. Okay, it's in there, it was the spies. Right. Ask them to.
Sir, let me show you what is now in evidence, the state's 42 in evidence. And ask if you could point, for the purposes of this chart, where it is that you found Mr. Humphrey's vehicle.
Just east of Falmouth at the intersection of 90,
Sir, I'd ask you
US 90.
to place a dot. Now, for the record, you have in your hand a dot 6A. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right, sir.
US 90 and I-10 intersection.
In Suwannee County.
Suwannee County.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer state's triple D for identification as evidence.
Objection, Your Honor.
Photograph the car.
Yes, Judge.
Objections to the road rule that have to be changed or established by proper number.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, just so that the court isn't worried, we don't have to ask for breaks or anything. A number of the objections we'll be making will relate to the issue that has already been discussed with the court.
It'd be an ongoing objection.
Actually, yeah, if we could have a running objection, Judge, that'll save a great amount of time.
It's fine.
Thank you, Judge.
State's Exhibit 43.
If I may, Your Honor?
You may.
Yes. Deputy Cameron, who were the two investigators who showed up from Marion County?
I don't know their names.
Were they in uniform or not in uniform?
They were not in uniform. They're here today.
They're here today?
Yes, I've seen them today.
You don't know their names at all? First name, last name, nothing
No.
like that? But they're here outside in the hallway today?
Yes.
Which sheriff's office are you employed with?
Suwannee County Sheriff's Office.
Suwannee County? When, withdrawn. When you originally found a Miami address with regard to the vehicle, what did you do in terms of contacting Miami?
I just called down and asked for a deputy to go to that address, and I never heard anything back from them. And I called information to try to find out if there was a phone listed to Mr. Humphreys, Mr. C.R. Humphreys at that address, and there wasn't.
And when you say you called them, who did you call? Who did you call in Miami?
Who did I call?
Yeah,
The sheriff's office.
the sheriff. Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Your Honor, may this witness be released?
Yes, sir. You need to.
No, you're not subject to recall if the witness can leave a phone number. That's
Sir, if you'll give the defense counsel a call where you may be contacted, you may require, if you are, a rule that you do not discuss testimony that is included.
I can be reached at area code.
Okay, no.
just jot it down for us.
Call your next witness.
Deputy Allen Brooks.
Your Honor, we would make a Richardson motion at this time and request a Richardson hearing.
Your Honor,
Ongoing objection is denied.
it please the court at some time the state would like an opportunity to rebut or at least answer for the purpose of the record, Your Honor.
When the jury goes to lunch, you have an opportunity to say anything.
Thank you, Your Honor. And to save time, sorry for the delay, Your Honor. Sir, would you please tell the jury your full name, your place of employment also?
My name is Alan Seabrooks. I work for the Marion County Sheriff's Department. I've worked for them for approximately 2 years.
Sir, were you on patrol on September the 12th of 1990?
Yes, I was.
And you described at that time if anything happened in regard to your becoming involved in the investigation of the death of a Charles Richard Humphreys.
Well, I was called to a suspicious person's call. I was advised that some children had found a white male laying in a cul-de-sac off of 132nd Street near 49th Terrace in Marion Oaks. When I got to the scene, rescue also followed me. We got to the scene and we found a white male laying in the cul-de-sac, apparently dead. The two paramedics that were on the scene confirmed it, and I immediately called my supervisor, and he advised the evidence techs and the investigators.
Now, when you arrived, can you describe what happened once the discovery was made of the body of Mr. Humphrey? What happened after that? After you make your call, what are your duties in reference to that?
Well, I
particular scene?
secured the scene until the investigators could arrive and take over.
Okay, was anyone allowed to touch the body after you arrived and determine that the man was dead?
Only the paramedics who did make the determination that he was dead.
And that was in your presence?
Yes, it was.
Anything disturbed or moved, altered, or in any way done to the body other than checking to see whether or not there was assistance that could be rendered to him by the paramedics?
No, sir.
Nothing else was done, he wasn't touched?
No, no.
How did you go about securing the scene?
I taped it off with evidence tape. I kept everyone outside of the area until the supervisor and the investigators arrived.
Sir, let me show you, if I may approach your Honor.
Yes, sir.
What has been marked as states ZZ for identification. I'll direct your attention, sir, solely to the top photograph and states ZZ for identification. Are you able to recognize that photograph?
Yes, I am.
Does that photograph fairly and accurately depict the body of Charles Humphreys as you saw it on September the 12th, 1990?
Yes, it does.
Do you recognize that as the individual that you found?
Yes, it is.
So let me show you what has been marked for identification purposes as states J for identification. I ask you if you can point out the location, or do you recognize where you found Charles Humphreys?
Right in this area here.
I'm sorry, will you point it out for me again?
Right about here.
Okay, and what is that?
Marion Oaks.
That is designated by, sir? Place of his body by what?
3A. Right there.
Okay,
Right between these two.
okay, so right between 6 and 3A?
Yeah.
All right, for the purpose of our chart, sir, would it be fair to say that 6 would be a location where his body was found?
More than likely, it was on the north side of Marion Oaks, north side of...
Okay. I mean, I'm only asking an approximation. I realize it's difficult to place a dot on a map exactly.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness can do the best he can without comment.
All right, sir. Okay, and if you'll review this chart, sir,
Okay.
look at the chart and tell me if you can determine which of the numbers corresponds to where you found the body.
Let's see. 6.
Number 6?
Number 6.
All right, sir. Sir, let me show you then what has been placed in evidence as states 42. And ask if you could point out for me, and I'm going to give you a sticker, the general location approximately where you found Mr. Humphrey's body on the 12th of September, 1990. Place that on there.
There.
Your Honor, objection has not been established. The identity has not been established.
Counsel didn't object, Judge.
Move to strike the comment and move for a curative instruction, Your Honor.
Both objections are overruled.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions. So one question. Where was the body located? In what county?
In Marion County.
Thank you, sir.
You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, officer. You indicated that you located this body in a subdivision, is that correct?
Yes, Marion Oaks.
And is it a cul-de-sac?
It was at the end of a road. The road comes to a dead end if you're traveling westbound on 132nd, and it abuts a farm property. It stops at that point, and there's a stone culvert at the end.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Your Honor, may this witness be released?
The telephone number.
Subject to telephone number.
All right, so you may stand down in the park if you will get the telephone number where you may be contacted. You may get more. If you are in the rules, or maybe it's not.
Your Honor, please record me to say at this time publish to the jury that item that is in evidence.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.